All right, let's talk about factors. We talked briefly about factors before when we were talking about fractions, but we're going to get into further depth now. Let's think about what numbers you'd multiply together to get 6. How about 36? Think about that for a second. Okay, let's break it down. 6 equals 3 times 2. 36 equals 6 times 6. We can further break down 6 into 3 times 2. So when we factor, we're breaking things down. So 36 can be factored into 6 times 6, or it can be further factored into 3 times 2 times 3 times 2, or 3 times 2 times 6. This is important for fractions and roots and polynomials and rational equations in algebra, which we'll get into a little later. Okay, here are some fractional examples of where this comes into play. When we are adding, subtracting, or performing other operations with fractions, we often need to have the same denominators, especially in addition and subtraction. So we need to use factoring to make that happen. So when we add 1/16 plus 1/4, we need to put them in the same terms. We need the denominators to be equal to add or subtract them. Now, 1/16 is equal to 1 over 4 times 4. 16 is equal to 4 times 4. Now, when I look at 1 over 4, that has a 4. So what I can do is find a common denominator, and it's going to be 16, because both of them go into 16. 16 goes into 16 once. 4 goes into 16 4 times. Now we're going to multiply the numerator and denominator of 1/4 by 4 over 4. 4 over 4 is equal to 1. So it doesn't matter in terms of the overall equation, but it gets it into the terms we need. It gets the denominator correct. Okay, so 1/4 times 4 over 4 is 4 over 16. So now we can add 1 over 16 plus 4 over 16 equals 5 over 16. That's one example of factoring in fractions. Okay, we're going to talk about square roots. Factors also matter. So let's take the square root of 25. 5 times 5 is 25, so the root is 5 of 25. And you may go, well, I don't really see that. We'll get to it in a second. Now let's take the cubed root, and has a little 3 with the square root of 125. Now, we know 125 is divisible by 5, but what else do we know? So it's divide 5 into 125, we get 25. So 5 and 25. And 25, we know, is 5 times 5. So 5 times 5 times 5 is 125. So the cubed root of 125 is 5. Okay, that's it for this video, and I'll see you next time.